What's going on, guys? Welcome to this episode of CloverCast. In this episode, I wanted to go a little bit more in depth with elephant money. There's a lot of moving pieces, different things you can get into, and I wanted to kind of go over some of my thoughts and some of the ways that I look at the ecosystem in terms of different opportunities to get involved. So, I think the elephant token has been one of the best looking charts in crypto as of late. And I think one of the main drivers of that has been one of the new projects that has come out with futures. And when you look at a lot of these types of ROI style contracts where you're investing and then hopefully you're getting a return on your investment, a lot of those have been somewhere in the range of 1% or even a little bit lower to try to make those a little bit sustainable. And they have a certain lifespan as far as enough people are getting involved and there's enough volume in the ecosystem. And so Bank Teller, he put a couple of wrinkles on this one that I think has made this a lot more sustainable. And I can show you guys a chart here to kind of further kind of talk about some of the stuff. So you can see here, this is a chart of futures when you're kind of looking at the the overall deposits, withdrawals, the intrinsic value, which is a new metric that has just been put here. But you can see it is just skyrocketing, and one of the main reasons and drivers for that has been the rise of the elephant token in terms of all of the people that have been getting involved, and you see that reflected in the chart. Over basically since about July, kind of the last two three months, we're starting to see it go parabolic again, and this was kind of in a little bit of sideway action when you're looking at the market. This thing went super parabolic. Bass, in April of the previous year, right before they had the hack that caused a lot of uncertainty, with the ecosystem, and it really just kind of moved sideways for a while, and then started to get a little bit healthier, kind of basically around the 1 year mark, and just recently has really started to take off. And so that's also contributed to, when you're looking at some of the other projects. I think the true indicator of the health of this ecosystem is when we can reach peg with the stablecoin, with the trunk stablecoin, and that's been one. It looked to hit bottom really just about a month ago, and it's kind of been on an upward trajectory ever since. And so a lot of that is based on some of the different aspects of the of trunk and the elephant token. And so I think that there's a lot of different ways to get involved depending on how you want to enter into the elephant money ecosystem. But there's there's more long term, there's more kind of immediate. There might be some plays that might have a little bit more risk or a little bit more ability to get in and out with some of the same fees. So the easiest way to get involved with elephant money, and if you're looking at this from a long-term perspective, is to buy the elephant token. And there's several ways to do that. The thing you got to look at with the elephant money is if you are looking at this where you need to basically have the token. If you're going to get into the elephant money with the intentions of getting out at some point, maybe just for profit, or if this is something that you're looking at as a long-term hold. But a lot of people that are in crypto, they're not. They're looking more in terms of what's going to be a quick flip, or maybe they can get in, they can double their money, and then essentially they can pull out like half and kind of recover their initial funds that they've deposited in. But you got to look at this as you need about 21% roughly of increased price action to break even. So if you're getting into the elephant token, you're going to need to take that into consideration if you need to pull out money for an emergency or something of that nature. So That's one of the ways to get in, and the futures is even more so is going to be another long-term investment. But the thing with the futures ecosystem is there's that passive income element to it. So when you get in for a certain dollar amount, you have the ability to earn on that. Now, it's rated at about half a percent if you're doing nothing but compounding, and that also requires putting in fresh capital of $200 every time to also further compound your account. So for those that are a little bit unfamiliar with futures, you're accumulating a 0.5% in your account based on your total deposited value, and in order to realize that profit, you're going to need to compound with an amount that's more than $200 to be able to get that to reflect in your account. So if you're just depositing in and just pulling out, then it essentially just acts like a zero interest bank account. So you have to play the game a little bit if you're going to be getting into futures, and so that also makes it a little bit more of a long-term play. So if you're looking at some of the liabilities, let's switch back to the chart here. If we're looking at these Dune analytics are great, by the way. I'm going to drop some of the links in these into the description. But this has been one that basically since January has exploded in value when you're looking at the amount of money that is entered into futures compared to the daily withdrawals. And so I think there's a lot more of an incentive to compound your account based on some of the earnings that you're able to achieve with that. And so that's something where you can really look at a lot of the different numbers and statistics that have been pushing this ecosystem. But I don't see this really slowing down. And I've mentioned this on a few of my streams before, where I don't see this being something that's going to be at risk of price correction or something where you're going to have a little bit more volatility for another year and a half or 2 years. And that's a long time in crypto. And I think that there's been a lot of things that have been added to the elephant money ecosystem, and this is something that is going to be continued development based on some of the things that are going to be adding to the treasury, where a lot of this stuff is pulling from and accumulating value in terms of Bertha, Bertha being the treasury and all of the value that's being locked up in that. So if you're just getting into elephant money and you're looking to try to find some of the best ways to earn money, just buying the elephant token, might be the better way to go, because that's essentially what futures is doing. It's taking 90% of the money and locking it up into the treasury in the form of the elephant money token, and you can see the price reflected in that. And so that's been something that's been outpacing the liabilities in terms of what it needs to pay out. Now, if you're looking for something that offers a little bit of a passive income, then that's something where your futures comes into play. Futures is going to be probably a little bit more it could probably be looked at a little bit more safe in terms. So like if you see things going parabolic, sometimes it's not the best time to buy in. But if you believe in the viability of the elephant money ecosystem as a whole, then the treasury having a healthy aspects to it, then the futures could be one of the better plays at this point. So I've started a small futures account. I think that perhaps I probably would have made a lot more had I just bought the elephant token. So it kind of gives you a little bit of perspective. But if there is a little bit of volatility, you're a little bit more protected from that, where things are a little bit more stable in terms of how things are growing in the futures ecosystem. So those are some of the main aspects and some of the biggest things that are seeing the most success in the elephant in the elephant money ecosystem. There are several other aspects. I think the one that's most recently been unveiled has been the unlimited NFTs. And we've just passed the the minting of an NFT being worth 1 BNB. So now it's going to be 2 BNB, and then as the next round sells out, that goes up exponentially, goes to 4 BNB. And these are printing elephant money inside of your wallet. So that's another way to kind of earn a little bit of a passive income if that's more of your aim and goal. For me, like, this is becoming a little bit more of like a banking system, something that I can deposit money into and pull out just enough money to live on or to cover my daily expenses. And you can do that through a lot of the different offerings inside of the ecosystem. And I think one of the big ones I'm also waiting for to see is Stampede. So Stampede is based on the trunk, the stable coin, and operates pretty much exactly the same as futures. However, it's peg adjusted. And so now with the rise of the stable coin, in terms of that becoming a little bit more healthy, that's going to be another interesting play. So I started really kind of compounding my account and building that up back when Trunk was still somewhere between like 15 and 18 cents. So you're looking at like a 5-6x on your money if everything equalizes and we hit peg with the stable coin. So the stable coin is definitely one to look at. I don't know how the future is going to look with incorporating some the stable coin aspect. That could be something that has some sort of transfer if it's going to move out of that. Like, I was always a little bit worried about that based on some of the things that Bank Teller had been stating. However, he's also hugely invested into the Trunk token as well, and I think everyone wants to see that hit peg. I don't know how that perhaps affects things from a regulatory standpoint when you're looking at how that might be a risk in the future. But this is something that Bank Teller has had a lot of experience in with the traditional financial markets, and how he's been building this ecosystem to be in compliance with a lot of things that are out there, and kind of being more of a decentralized ecosystem that offers some really interesting ways to earn inside of this ecosystem. So it's one that I'm going to be watching more intensely, and also giving some of my updates and insights into. I just recently also got into farming. I think farming is kind of interesting because it's like I was I had a strategy where I was buying low, selling high on Ethereum. And then, when Ethereum really kind of took a dip and didn't look like it's been coming back or going to be coming back anytime soon, it's not coming back to the prices that I'm trying to sell at. What I ended up doing was taking some of that value and locking it up into the farm. So you at least have the ability to earn between 30 and 40% APY on the value that you have there, as well as locking up more Trunk into the ecosystem. So several different ways to earn, and this has been kind of a foundational project that has a lot of things that going for it right now. A lot of it being driven by the elephant token, but futures has been very successful. I think the tokenomics really work really well, and I think the tokenomics is something that offers a lot of things to when you're looking at like some of the the projects in the past that were very successful, that had large communities behind them, and that had had a time where they were very, very successful. That's something I think we've seen with the with this, is that it's improved on a lot of things that were out there. It's made things a little bit more sustainable in terms of the earnings that you're able to make. If you're in futures and you're trying to keep everything equal, it's saying that it's 0.5%, per day, which seems fairly high. If you're compounding your account and you're building that up, you can build a pretty massive account. It's going to take you about 2 years, and then you have the ability to really withdraw. That's where I think some of the liabilities may come into play, where it might start having a hindrance on the ecosystem as a whole. However, if everything is growing, the way that it's growing, and as well as with the the elephant token, you have the ability to cover a lot of those liabilities. And as the ecosystem grows, as volume increases, things are going to get a lot more sustainable for everything in all the different offerings that are there. So I'm really interested to see how things are going to be looking in the future, particularly with Trunk, with Stampede. I know that's something that they don't necessarily want the community focusing on, but I see a lot of potential with that if you're holding value there. It could potentially, right now it's about 22 cents. It's been between, bouncing around between 20 and 25 cents. You're looking at like a 4 to 5x, on money that you have invested in Trunk. If this does go back and hit peg as the ecosystem stabilizes and more volume and money enters into to help the Trunk token reach peg. And so there's been some different numbers in terms of what it's going to take for that to materialize, and I think they need to see the Treasury about 4 or 5x or 10x, something like that for the Trunk token to reach peg again. So I think that once we see Trunk hit peg, and you see a lot of those things flowing and a lot of things doing well, with that, and futures taking off, and Elephant and the NFTs doing well, then you have a very healthy ecosystem, something that you have the ability to build on top of as well. So there might be some changes, I would imagine, maybe at that point. The ecosystem has undergone a number of different changes as things have grown and expanded, and so there's a constant development on things, and I think that once things stabilize and become a little bit more stable in terms of the stable coin, you'll see a lot more of that as well. So those are some of my basic thoughts. I've left my some information in the description for those that are interested in getting involved a little bit more. They have the partner network, so you have the ability to earn not only with getting a little bit of an added bonus from teaching this to other people, but also the people that are getting involved will have the ability to get a little bit of an added bonus as well. So there's definitely some incentives to getting involved at this point with everything that's going on. So I see a lot of potential, with things that are going on. It's only it's very, very young. There's not very much in terms of people that have entered into this when you're looking at the grand scheme of things. There's still a lot of room for growth. And that's why I was kind of looking at some different things that I might be able to offer in terms of breaking things down maybe a little bit more simply, and maybe taking some of those concepts and translating them into Spanish and doing some shorts. Those are some things I was maybe interested in seeing if there was any traction behind some of those, and so I wanted to try that a little bit. I got some family in town, and been a little bit busy with some certain things, but I'm going to be looking to expand, this podcast, bring on some guests. I've got, I mentioned this before, Money Mike is a guy that I wanted to bring on as a first co-host, and might be looking to bring on some other people as well. It's certainly, I think it's easier for me sometimes to talk about certain things when I can bounce my ideas off of another person, and have a little bit of that as opposed to kind of just doing some more basic streams where I'm just kind of sitting down and kind of giving my thoughts off the top of my head. So definitely look out for that. I'm going to be working on some of these things, but Elephant Money is one that I think is going to be very central to some of the things that I'm looking to do. It offers a passive income, something that I have the ability to rely on, so I can kind of budget for it a little bit more. So some of the things I'm looking to do out here, I have a better ability to do that. I kind of wish, I had gotten more involved with Elephant Money instead of, going into the Hex ecosystem, because everything in the Hex ecosystem is down like 90% from when I got in. I was hoping that was going to be something that I was going to be able to use to finance a lot of things that I want to do out on my land, and that all really fell through. So now I'm just kind of holding bags, waiting for things to recover. And I know there's a lot of people that are in Elephant Money. They're also in aspects of other things in DeFi and Hex and the Pulse Chain ecosystem being some of the big ones there with that. But at this point, Elephant Money is king in DeFi. It's doing the best. It has the best looking charts. It has very stable ways to earn passive income, and there's the risks at this point are somewhat minimal. I think that as things grow, you're going to have a healthier ecosystem. Perhaps maybe that's when it gets the attention of regulators, because that seems to be the big issue at this point. And so I don't know how that's going to play out. I would imagine Bank Teller's very prepared for that. He has a lot of relationships with some of those people, and so I'm hoping for the best. But things are looking really good. It is set up in a decentralized way. Probably with the one aspect is once Bank Teller renounces the contracts, which he has kind of explained to the community that he intends to do once things are stable, and don't look as though they need to have any further changes. He has the ability to do that and then make it truly decentralized. And so this could be an ecosystem that really takes over the DeFi space as more and more people are becoming aware of it. And the assets under management is over 500 million. You're looking at about $500 million in assets under management. And so this is when you're looking at the market caps of a lot of the the coins and the tokens that are out there, by the numbers, it's nearly a top 50 cryptocurrency at this point. So I'm showing 525 million I'm sorry, 615 million in assets under management. That's one that's been growing a lot. Now, a lot of that's also based on the price of Elephant Money and how it's been going parabolic at the point. But let's see where that puts. I'm just kind of looking up at a chart right here. That puts it at number 60 overall in terms of the market cap. So this is one that as it continues to grow, I mean, a billion is certainly not out of the the near possibilities, and you might have something that's in a top 40 cryptocurrency in a very short amount of time. So it's growing, and it's one that we're going to be focused on this channel in terms of things that are going to be moving in that direction. So if you're looking for more hands-on coaching for people that are going to be part of my partner network, I'm offering that for people that are going to be more involved with those sort of things. I can offer a little bit more, insights and things like that in my private chat for people that are in my network. And so I think that having a little bit of coaching in that can certainly be very beneficial for somebody that has a good grip on everything that's going on in the ecosystem. So like I said, I've left some of my information in the description below, and be sure to consider that for people that are wanting to be more involved with Elephant Money, but need a little bit more insights into where some of the opportunity is at any given time. I think it may change. If things are going parabolic with the trunk token, that might be something to jump in. If things are moving in another direction, then perhaps that's going to be something to take into consideration. So yeah, those are some of my thoughts. I'm curious to hear, what some of your guys' thoughts are. Be sure to leave those in the comment section below. Like and subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.